Welcome to my channel. Today I'm sharing a story about a misunderstanding that happens when Susan Downey visits a luxury hotel owned by her husband, Robert Downey Jr. Enjoy this tale about assumptions and identity. The afternoon sun streamed through the tall glass windows of the Grand Plaza Hotel as Susan Downey made her way across the marble floor of the luxurious lobby. She had just arrived after a long flight and wanted nothing more than to settle into the room her husband had arranged. The hotel was one of the most prestigious in the city, known for its impeccable service and exclusive clientele. Susan approached the elegant front desk where a young woman named Jessica was working as the manager on duty. Susan's demeanor was calm and polite as she set her designer handbag on the counter. "Good afternoon," Susan said with a warm smile. "I'd like to check if my reservation for the penthouse suite was confirmed. My husband made the arrangements a few days ago." Jessica glanced up from her computer screen, barely making eye contact with Susan. She had been having a difficult day dealing with demanding guests, and her patience was wearing thin. Without recognizing who stood before her, she responded with a hint of irritation in her voice. "Do you have a reservation confirmation number? The penthouse suite is reserved exclusively for our VIP guests and the owner's special visitors," Jessica stated matter-of-factly, her tone suggesting she doubted Susan belonged in either category. She drummed her manicured fingernails on the keyboard while waiting for a response. Susan, maintaining her composure despite the less than welcoming reception, replied, "I believe my husband made all the arrangements directly. The reservation should be under Downey." Jessica's fingers moved swiftly across the keyboard as she checked the system. Her frown deepened as she scrolled through the guest list. "I don't see anything here under that name. The penthouse is currently reserved for the hotel owner's family and associates only. I'm sorry, but without proper documentation, you'll need to book a different room. Perhaps one of our deluxe suites would be more appropriate." The suggestion carried a condescending undertone that did not go unnoticed by other guests standing nearby. Susan tried again, her voice still even despite the growing tension. "There must be some misunderstanding. Could you please check again? My husband is—" "Ma'am," Jessica interrupted, her voice rising enough to draw attention from several people in the lobby. "I've already checked the system thoroughly. Without proper documentation or a confirmation number, I cannot help you with the penthouse suite. We have strict protocols about who can access that level of the hotel, and I'm not authorized to make exceptions." Her words echoed slightly in the high-ceiling lobby, causing a few heads to turn. A small crowd of curious onlookers had begun to gather discreetly, watching the exchange with interest. Susan remained dignified despite Jessica's increasingly dismissive attitude. She opened her mouth to explain again when a tall man in an impeccable suit approached the desk with purpose in his stride. Michael, the hotel's general manager, who had been with the establishment since before its recent change in ownership, recognized Susan immediately. His eyes widened in recognition, and he quickened his pace, reaching the desk just as Jessica was about to deliver another rebuff to Susan's request. "Is everything all right here?" Michael asked, his experienced gaze taking in the situation at once. He noticed Susan's calm exterior that barely concealed her discomfort at being the center of unwanted attention. "This woman claims she has a reservation for the penthouse suite, but there's nothing in the system, and she doesn't have any confirmation details," Jessica explained with a hint of superiority, still unaware of who she was dealing with. "I was just explaining our policy regarding the owner's private floors." Michael looked at Susan with immediate recognition and respect in his eyes. "Mrs. Downey, I'm so terribly sorry about this misunderstanding. Of course your suite is ready." His voice carried genuine remorse for the situation. Jessica's expression transformed instantly from superiority to shock as the realization dawned on her. Her face paled visibly under her makeup. "Mrs. Downey? As in Susan Downey?" she asked, her voice now barely above a whisper. Michael nodded, his professional demeanor masking his own discomfort at the situation. "Yes, Susan Downey, wife of Robert Downey Jr., who purchased this hotel chain last year. Mrs. Downey is, in fact, the very person our penthouse suite is permanently reserved for." The color drained completely from Jessica's face as the full impact of her mistake hit her. She had been rudely dismissing and practically shouting at the wife of not just any VIP guest, but her actual employer. Her hands began trembling slightly as she frantically typed on her keyboard. "I had no idea. I'm so terribly sorry, Mrs. Downey. This is completely my fault. I should have been more thorough in checking the reserved guest listings. Please forgive the confusion, Michael said to Susan with genuine concern, shooting a warning glance at Jessica. Jessica joined our team only last month and is still learning our protocols regarding our ownership family. I'll personally escort you to the penthouse suite right away. Mr. Downey called this morning to mention you would be arriving today and requested that everything be prepared to your preferences. The onlookers in the lobby, now realizing they had witnessed an interaction with someone of note, began whispering among themselves. Some took out their phones, but a subtle gesture from Michael to the security staff quickly discouraged any photographs. Jessica stood frozen behind the counter, mortified by her behavior. Mrs. Downey, I sincerely apologize for my unprofessional conduct. If I had known you were Mr. Downey's wife, there is absolutely no excuse for how I spoke to you. I hope you can forgive my terrible mistake. Her voice quavered with genuine remorse and fear for her position. Susan, ever gracious, gave her a kind smile that reached her eyes. Despite the uncomfortable situation, she understood the pressure of working in hospitality. It's quite all right, Jessica. These misunderstandings happen to everyone. There's no need to dwell on it. Let's just move forward, shall we? Her response was neither condescending nor angry, demonstrating the class and poise that had earned her respect in both Hollywood and business circles. Michael signaled to a bellhop who immediately appeared to collect Susan's luggage. Mrs. Downey, if you'll follow me, I'll take you directly to your suite. The private elevator is this way. I've taken the liberty of arranging for some refreshments to be waiting for you upstairs. Is there anything specific you might need after your journey? As Michael escorted Susan toward the private elevator reserved for the hotel's most elite guests, Jessica watched them go, still in shock at her grave error in judgment. The other staff members at the desk avoided eye contact with her, leaving her alone with the weight of her mistake. As the elevator doors closed on Susan and Michael, Jessica wondered if she would still have a job by the end of the day. She consoled herself only with the memory of Susan's gracious response, a masterclass in handling an awkward situation with dignity that the young manager would never forget. Thank you so much for reading this story. If you enjoyed this content about celebrities in interesting situations, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more stories like this one. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment below telling me what celebrity encounter you'd like to see next.